Welcome back to Sacred Success Salon, where this time we are having a conversation with awakened leaders just like you about how to thrive as an awakened leader right now when the world is still in chaos and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And today I am so excited to welcome back Marcy Neumann. Marcy was our guest just a few months ago. We had an amazing conversation. And Marcy, I just love the memory right before we got on this recording. I had such a visceral memory of what you shared with us about going into, do you remember, about going into this thumb, it was like a under the earth space where you heard the drums, remember that?
Vaguely, in all honesty, because I'm going to be truthful, and this will happen in this broadcast as well. When I am in my groove, I'm totally like in service, and very often I don't recall what I've said, but I can tell you it comes right from my heart.
Yes.
So yeah, and I'm so confident that that is exactly what's happening today. Yeah. And it was evident to me, Anna, as I came on with you, I got that same feeling. I got so excited, like anticipating such delight at being here with you. Our energies are always so synchronized, and it is the most incredible platform for delivering my message. So I'm so confident that what I have to share today is going to be exactly what our audience needs to hear. And it's
I love it. I love it. So great. So let me introduce you to our audience, because some of you may have met Marcy through other channels that she shares her wisdom through. Some of you may have been in the salon in February. And for those of you who don't know Marcy, let me just introduce Marcy Neumann to you. She's a creator of a heart shift, a method through which she has led thousands of clients to release the toxic dense energy and open their hearts to receive and extend more love, which means they could now live with more confidence, clarity, and commitment to building an unshakable, lasting self-love lifestyle and reflection of their true selves. So there is more bio right underneath this video. Read more about Marcy. I do love our energy. And the reason why I wanted you back is, well, first of all, because I love playing with you. But second of all, is because where we are as leaders right now, the awakened leaders who is speaking right now, and the conversation we're having in the world is we get to step into our leadership, especially the light workers, the heart-centered beings, and we get to create from the heart. So self-love and heart shift is a perfect conversation for where we are. So let's go.
Okay. I'm all yours.
So let's talk about living from the heart. It's such a beautiful sentiment. What does it mean, really? I mean, we can talk about it, but how does it look for us awakened leaders when we get into our mission, when we get into conversation about thriving? Where does the heart come in?
Okay. First off, I love the question, and already I can feel the energy like clamoring to get out of me.
I love it.
So I want to preface this by saying that when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to the feminine aspect of you, because that is what is necessary in order for us to be in the heart space in the way that we are meant both to be receiving and to be giving. As leaders today, this is so essential, because particularly the energy of fear is so prevalent. It is like a cloud. The density of it is one that everyone is finding the challenge of trying to work through. The only thing that gets through density is light. You must be fully embodying your heart. Your head will never allow you to do that. Your head is 97% controlled by the ego. We call it's a subconscious mind, and it is fed by the fear. So if you have a culture that honestly is spread throughout the entire world now of fear, if you are still trying to figure this stuff out from your head, you are feeding the density.
Wow.
You are actually feeding the energy, and I'm getting God bumps as I'm speaking.
Yeah.
You are feeding the, oh God, you are feeding the energy that you are working so hard to get through. And that's why you will never do it. We must come into our heart, because the heart is what I just got this image of like an inferno. Okay.
Oh.
It is the energy that has the capacity to transmute fear. Now, as leaders, you must know how to do this. You must know how to do this. The good news is it's innate within you. You already know, but you must incorporate it. You have got to incorporate a daily spiritual practice that will take your vibrational frequency out of the mundane, out of the fear, out of the reactive nature that we have been so conditioned with, right? Particularly with fear. And you must rise above it. The paradox is that as you're rising above, you actually have to go within. So the heart is the only place that has the capacity to transform and transmute this energy. This inferno that you've been given as a gift that enables you to be in a place of leadership is one that is calibrated for this job. So your job, of course, is to align with that energetically. So here's what really needs to happen. With this fear, we're so compelled to be told how to think, to get out of it. Everyone scrambling for a leader out of this mess, out of this chaos. If you're listening to the wrong voice, it will take you right back into it. There is no exiting. There's only the feeding of the energy. The voice that's being called for now, again, is the voice of your heart. It's your higher self. But what that means is that you must exercise this sovereignty. You must exercise clear thinking. You have to do critical thinking now in order to start to clear the density and allow your own light to be projected forward. I know that was a long answer, but the question seriously just like was, this is what we need to talk about. We need to talk about exercising A, our free will, B, our ability to think, but to allow our heart to lead those thoughts. We know that our thoughts are what create our reality. If we are, again, relying on the ego or the linear thinking that it wants us to swallow and, look at as sacred, it's so far removed from where we want to be. So we need to really just dive into this and find out, between us, how we can negotiate this and how we can strengthen these aspects of self that are here to be in leadership.
I love it. I don't know if you saw, but I am moved to tears by what you are sharing, because there is so much truth to it. And because it comes through you and you are such a pure, beautiful channel, there is so much power in it, right?
You have no idea the energy that I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. So amazing. Yeah. So great. I hear it. And as you were sharing, I saw the glimpses of examples in our history of leaders who came and led through the heart. Jesus, Martin Luther King, right, from more contemporary, who really had to let go of logic and follow their heart to be aligned with the vision and keep moving no matter what, right? Even if everybody else said they were nuts or there was danger, right? And we look at them from this perspective now, like they're heroes. But in their day and time, I don't know, these two just came in, Jesus and Martin Luther King, they literally came in together, as you were sharing, as examples of what you were talking about. But right now, as we listen to this, right, we can look back and say, oh, they were heroes. Look what they were able to create. But in the moment, every single day, I just watched Martin Luther King movie last year. I can't remember the name. And it gave a little bit of what happens for him every single day and the struggle that he goes through daily in his mind and in his heart to stay on the mission. So with that, right, looking back, it's nice to say, wow, look at what they've done. But right now, we are where they were moving through this daily resistance and fear, right? Because you're right, there is so much fear right now. Oh boy. So what would you say to somebody who's saying, we're good for them, they're heroes? But we are the heroes right now. Those of us, to me, who are willing to go into the heart, right? And lead from the heart and not give in to fear. We are the heroes. You who's watching right now, you are the hero. How can we every single day be in that space as much as possible?
Number one, you must raise your game when it comes to a daily spiritual practice, because we are being bombarded. It's not just, oh, there's this going on and it's creating fear. It is every place that we turn to that would have given us, for instance, a sense of some sort of stability or safety is being, I'm just going to say it, taken away from us.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are. We're in the midst of this crisis, this trauma. Our whole psyche, our heart, our beingness in this world is traumatized. And as we attempt to discuss it and to get other ideas, to really start to have meaningful conversation, we're being censored. Everything is being limited in terms of not necessarily availability, but the very essence of our being, which is truth and the expression of truth and the necessity of that in order to be in leadership is really being dismissed, right? So you're being led to believe that you cannot express yourself if your thought process is deviant from what is being presented to you and you're being told to believe. So we have to start to look at the true essence of our being. The one thing that can never, ever be taken from us, regardless of what the circumstances are, is our ability to commune with our higher self. There is nothing that will ever separate you. This is where the truth is. This is where you will know exactly where to go and what to do. You will know what to say. You will know what it is that you're striving for. Your purpose will be so clear. And you will remember who you are, what you have come here to do and to be. And you will know that the universal forces will bring you others who are in alignment with you.
Oh, say more about that.
I'm feeling it. The biggest fear with this whole debacle, of course, is that we're going to die, right? Yeah. So the truth is, if you believe in death, that power will be held over you. If you don't believe in death, if you believe that you are an eternal being, a spiritual being, temporarily in this body, and so on purpose, you have nothing to fear. Okay, you've done this 1,000 times over. But when you actually embrace that fear, what happens is it now is controlling you and it will prevent you from living. When you have fear of dying, you will not live. You will not take the risk that is necessary in order to constantly be expanding and expressing.
Yeah.
And the reason that that's so essential is that this energy of creation, the life force itself, needs to extend through us. If we're in fear, we're in a constant state of contraction. We are feeding the density. We are doing exactly what we are being led to do and led to believe. So when we will come back over and over and over again to remember that we can never be separate from our true self, we can never be separate from our higher self that has all the information that we need in order to be true, effective, and powerful leaders, that we are safe within that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will stop you from living. Nothing will stop you from expanding and expressing. Nothing will stop you from being in your purpose. Those are the leaders we need today.
I love it. So great. And what I wrote down, because it came in so strongly, is that when you are in fear, you are in constant contraction.
That's
and
right.
that right. And that means that the life force, the energy cannot expand through you. You literally are choking it up.
And preventing yourself from getting the very nourishment that you need in order to expand. Right? I mean, what is a balloon if it's just sitting on your desk? It needs the breath. It needs to come in, it fills it up. And then the fun part is letting that thing go and see it fly all over the room, and you never know which direction it's going, and it's making all kinds of funny sounds. And that's the joy of it. Yeah. But you must be able to stay in your expansive state in order to both give and receive, because we are here in partnership. And I think that that's something that is really important. As I'm looking at my clock, it is 12:21. This is indicative to me that what we're talking about now is so essential. One side of that equation is not greater or lesser than the other. We must be open to both be giving and receiving. That's true partnership. But it's also the very essence of how the universe works. There is nothing in the universe that is of itself. So what does that tell us? It tells us, it tells us that, number one, our purpose needs us as much as we need it. We're not fulfilled without our full connection to it, and it is not fulfilled through us if it is not able to be fully connected to us. We need to start to really put everything in that in that like formula. How am I in partnership? What am I giving? What do I need to receive? Constantly asking, is the energy that I am in this moment capable of creating what I need to experience, what I need to create, what I need in order to be in service to others? If you're in fear, if you are following along like you have blinders on and have forgotten that you have access to the entire collective mind, you're like this. And you will stay like this. You remain like this. And the biggest, I'm saying it, biggest crime against humanity is that you will live that. And you will teach it. Because you teach your beliefs by the way you live your life. We are gathered here in the name of love. We are gathered here in the name of light, the creative force in the entire universe. Every leader that has been called to this audience needs to hear this message and internalize it. We can no longer make sufficient what we did before in terms of our spiritual life, in terms of our connections, and in terms of our collaborations. We are not here in competition with each other. We are here to seek out the vibrational frequency of others, to be completely collaborative, because it is in alignment with the very essence of the universe, which is in partnership. No more is it me against you, or fear that you're going to take, something from me.
Yeah.
We must step into our roles as true leaders and walk that talk. We must expand by what we are nourishing and nurturing our spirits with. It is the only aspect of us that will sustain us, that will remind us who we are, that will give us access to all the information that we need, that we can call upon for the strength, the flexibility, the resiliency that is necessary for these times. You're an amazing being. No coincidence that you're here. No coincidence that you're listening to this broadcast, that you're here with Anna as part of her audience. No coincidences. We're here together. And I'm here to help you to rise. I am here to support you in your growth, your expansion, but I'm also here to support you in your expression. Because what are we without our voice?
Mhm. Wow, Marcy, that was amazing. That was like a sermon and a prayer in one. That just, if you're listening to this, rewind and close your eyes and let it pour over you again, because that was just the most beautiful gift. Two things actually that really stood out to me that I want to highlight and just pull in case our viewer didn't hear it. We're talking about leaders thriving, and I loved how powerfully what you just shared reflected that. In order to give, we must receive everything we need and require. It goes both ways. And I think so often as light beings, healers, creatives, guides, mystics, we choke up our ability to receive. And what I heard so clearly is we can only, and this is how I'm saying it, we can only give to the level to which we are allowing ourselves to receive.
Exactly.
So beautiful.
And so essential.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say something, because I want our audience to know that there's an important message here about who you are, and also the way you've been conditioned to be and to believe in certain aspects of leadership. Mm-hmm. Part of what I'm talking about is moving into this new paradigm, right? Yeah. But before we have to accept where we are right now, because we have been conditioned in our whole personification, right, of a leader. I would probably say that all of us here have had other lifetimes where we were also in places of leadership and suffered because of it.
Yeah.
This is in our spiritual DNA. It's in the memory of our cells. Mm-hmm. And some maybe not so, far in the past, right? I know for myself, I've seen those lifetimes. I know what they're about. I know what I'm about now. Now you can't get me to stop talking. But
I love it.
I want you to accept that was then and this is now. Mm. I also want you to start to recognize how our societies, our communities, our world, I'm going to cry. Our world has suffered because we stopped sharing what we knew.
Oh. Mm.
I want you to just take a look at the evidence of that today. Mm-hmm. about how people so easily cling to the fear, how easily they, again, living like this, not questioning anything. And I want you to start to take note of how the world has suffered because we stopped speaking. We started to live in a very linear way because the parts of us that were expressive, and of course, the only word that comes to mind are, the labels that were put on us as witches or mystics or this or that.
Mhm.
We knew the secrets of the universe and we lived by them.
Mhm.
When we silenced that, we catapulted into an age of darkness,
Mhm.
because that's the light. That's the expression of our light. It's all of it's the wonder, it's the awe. And we stepped into trying to convince ourselves that, our linear thinking was the only thing to depend on. And we gave up
Mhm.
our connection to our intuition, to our hearts, to our truth. And so we must take responsibility for having collaborated in creating what we have today. But nothing's written in stone. And we are here in these places of leadership in this time where once again we're looking to be silenced, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And we won't have it, will we?
No.
We will
No.
not be silenced this time. The other thing is that we know that we have the ability now to connect energetically. Never before in this lifetime, we might say, or this body time, have we had the information about energy,
Mhm.
how it works, how we can make it work for us, how we can connect telepathically, how we will find ourselves against all odds. Doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
Against all odds, I want you to know that you have anchors all around this world and in the worlds beyond. And those anchors are here to hold this energy field that is the difference between life and death.
Wow. Wow. That was amazing, Marcy. Absolutely amazing. And so grounding at the same time. So grounding, which is I think what we need, right?
We need
to feel, yeah, to be bigger than the fear. So amazing. Oh, Marcy, you have given us so many great gifts today with the transmission. And I know I'm looking at time because it's something that we still get to deal with in this human experience. You have given us so many beautiful grounding gifts today already. And I am inviting you, the viewer, listen to it again and let it anchor in your body what Marcy shared. Because that's how it showed up for me. We have anchors outside and we have anchors. Let this message anchor inside of you so you can go out and share your message, because that's what we need right now from you. So Marcy, I know as we wrap up, you have a special gift for our viewers, a way for them to stay connected with you, get into your world and get more of your magic. Could you share what it is?
Thank you. Thank you. And before I talk about that,
Yeah.
I need to, if you don't mind, and if I
Please.
take one more moment,
Mm-hmm.
I want to just put shed a light on what it is that I'm actually describing.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment where you accept where you are and who you are and your truth and your ability to continue to expand and express and to never, ever be connected from source energy itself, that in that moment, what you are doing is you are loving yourself in a way that you have never loved yourself before.
Damn.
Never. Because that is against all odds.
Mm-hmm.
That is against the current. And that's what self-love takes. Self-love takes a courage, and it takes cultivating that courage 24/7. Because, as I said, we're constantly being bombarded with other people's beliefs that are incongruent with the universal principles. They just are. And we're being expected to swallow them, you know, hook and sinker. And we, of course, know that that is our demise. Self-love is that journey, coming back home to you, to remembering who you are, to putting aside all of those other beliefs that others want you to swallow. And for yourself, committing 100% to nurture and nourish that connection, so that it can prove to you that it's there for you always.
Wow.
That's self-love.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. And so I want to tell you about my free gift.
Please do.
It of course is all about cultivating that courage to live not just this moment in self-love, but to create a whole lifestyle that is fed by self-love, and to truly understand what self-love is, what it isn't. Don't let anyone start to tell you that it's selfish. The moment you hear that, or you start to feel that, know that your job is to convert that energy right in that moment from selfish to self-wish.
Oh, I love it.
You just are going to embody every wish that your heart is yearning for, every single one of them. And this is our gift then to the world. As we understand, we have the ability to be unshakable. Not in our belief, not in our hope, not in our dream, in our knowingness. Who we are, what we are here to be and to do. That's my gift to you.
Love it. It just went straight into my heart. So beautiful. And I love what you said, selfish to self-wish.
Yeah.
So good.
Set that energy free.
Yeah.
Don't let it control you and keep you small, not one moment longer.
So great. Oh, Marcy, you are a gift. This whole conversation has been such a gift. So amazing.
It's a gift for me to be here. And again, it's like every time we connect, Anna, it's like, woo, all right. You know, I can just like spread my wings and just take off. And that's what the energy does each and every time. So I want to encourage our audience to watch for more of this between Anna and I.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be more. Not even a question.
Energy field between us.
Yeah, I love it. Whew, so good. You know, part of me is like, let's keep going. And we will. I promise that.
We will. I promise too.
Yeah, for sure. So there is a button right below this video. It's a beautiful golden button. Click the button to download the beautiful gift from Marcy so you can dive into her world, get more of this delicious, juicy self-love. Selfish to self-wish. I just love that, Marcy. It's just so perfect. And enjoy it. That's a superpower. That's a superpower, right?
Trust me on that.
Yeah. So great. So amazing. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing conversation in the Sacred Success Salon. Go on and lead with your beautiful gifts, because the world needs you right now more than ever. We all need you more than ever. Thank you, Marcy Neumann, for being our guest again in the salon. And I am so looking forward to more of our joy and play together.
As am I. And thank you, Anna. It has been my joy, my honor. And to each and every one of our listeners, I love you. And thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you. Mwah.